Good evening. In previous session, we have seen the concept of operator overloading, and also we have seen about duck typing philosophy. So in today's session, we are going to see some more examples about operator overloading. So in yesterday's session, I have taken one small example that two book objects I have taken, and I have combined those book objects to bind as a one book, and I have shown you how to override an operator called as plus. So in yesterday's session, I have discussed about some of the magic methods. In that, one point I have to discuss. That point is for a division. For a division concept, I have told you about underscore underscore div underscore underscore. This method I have discussed in previous session, but according to our Python 2.0, it is available. But in Python 3. From third version onwards, we are having a method called as underscore underscore true div. Okay, this is the method, magic method we have to use for this division operator. So I will show you once. If I use this one, what happens, and if I use this one, what is the output we are going to get? I will show you. Okay. So now I'm going to take the same example yesterday, whatever we have taken. Just I will take same example and I will perform the different type of arithmetic operator magic methods. I am going to override here. That means I want to override some more arithmetic operators. In yesterday's session, I have shown you only one arithmetic operator to be overloaded. So now I'm going to overload remaining addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division also. Just I will take yesterday's program, that is underscore underscore init. Here I have taken self, and I have taken here number of pages, and self dot pages equal to, I have taken pages. So, and I have overloaded only one operator called as add. For that, I have written one special method called as underscore underscore add underscore underscore, which is nothing but a magic method for addition operator. Self comma other I am going to take. So here what I have to take? Here I have written what? What I have written? Self dot pages plus I have taken other dot pages. Okay. So this is the class I have written. So I have created two objects like book one equal to book of some. I have taken some 500 pages, and I will take some 700 pages, for example, or 600 pages I will take. Okay, two objects I have created. So whenever these two objects are going to be created, here what happens? For B1, pages will be what? 500. For B2, pages will be what? 600. So that is the concept that will be happened when we are going to execute these two statements, or after creating these two objects, we are going to get pages for first object as 500, pages for second object as 600. Okay. So now just I want to bind those two things, those two books, for example. So after binding two books, okay, total pages are. So how I have to bind them? I have to add B1 plus B2. Okay. Here what is meant by B1? B1 is a book object, B2 is a book object. So I can perform addition operation between integers and floating point numbers. There is no problem. And we can also perform addition between, I can use the plus symbol between strings also. Then we are going to get what? Concatenation of those two strings. But here if I am going to perform addition operation between B1 and B2, generally what will be the result? Here B1 and B2 cannot use the symbol plus generally. But here what I have done? I have overloaded that plus operator. So whenever I am saying B1 plus B2, what happens means B1 is which object? Book object. So it will go to book object and it will check for which method? Add, magic method called as add. So it is available so that B1 will be passed to as a first argument and B2 will be passed to second argument. So B1 dot pages means what? 500. B2 dot pages means what? 600. So 600 plus 500 is what? 1100. That is going to be written here, and that is going to be printed. In yesterday's session, we have seen this concept. Okay, so we got what? 1100. Now the concept is, here I have taken only uh, one magic method, that is for plus. Now same method, I will not modify any program, just I want to show you some other magic methods also that is related to our arithmetic operators. Just I will change the symbol, that's it. So for subtraction, for multiplication, for division I have taken. So what is the subtraction for, what is the magic method? SUB. In the same way for multiplication, just here I am going to write what? I am going to keep minus. And here I am going to write what? Here I am going to write multiplication, MUL. Here first I will show you about DIV. Already I have discussed about this point. So DIV will not work in this version as we are using 3.8 version. So yesterday, that is November 16th, 2020, 3.9 version was released. As we are using 3.8.6 only, so 3.9 also released yesterday. Okay, right. Now I want to show you one at a time. First I will show you what here, B1 minus B2. So already I have executed plus, there is no problem. When I'm going to use B1 minus B2, what happens? It is going to perform 500 minus 600. And the result will be what? Just to see, that is minus 100. Don't see this statement here. Just I will remove this statement. Just I want to show you whether it is going to execute or not. Okay. So B1 is which object? Book object. If I perform minus operation between two book objects, how it is going to work? Because there is a magic method for subtraction is that is underscore underscore sub underscore underscore is available in book, so that it is going to execute here. Now what happens here? What is the output we are going to get? Minus 100. How we are going to get minus 100 here? Reason is 500 minus 600 will be returned here. See here, 500 minus 600 is going to be returned here. So the answer is minus 100. Now let us consider multiplication. Just here I am going to perform multiplication. Now see, okay, here anyway I have written minus. I will change it to into. That is what multiplication. So see, it is going to give me some 3 lakhs. Okay, that is nothing but what? 600 into 500. It is going to give me some value. Okay, that means what? Multiplication also executed. There is no problem. Now see, I am going to execute division. So see what happens here. When I am going to call division, it is going to tell what? Unsupported operand for division. Why it is going to tell? Anyway, if I write here also, it will give you the same error. Okay, reason is here we have to write what? True div. Okay, so this is the thing we have to apply. So we will get the correct answer now. So here it is going to perform what? 500 by 600 it is going to perform. We are going to get 0.833 and so on. We are going to get some value. So if we want to perform some other operation also, like what we can say, floor division also we can perform here. There is no problem. So whenever I'm going to perform floor division, it is symbol is what? Double slash. For that I am having what? For that I am having floor div. Okay. Here I will not write self dot pages by other dot pages. Other dot pages by I will write self pages, because the value I have to show you. So that first I will take what? Other dot pages by self dot pages. So anything we can write here, there is no problem. But just I want to show you whether it is working or not, whether that method is working or not. So see here, floor division is work. So that we are getting what? 1 point something has to be there. As it is a floor division, we are going to get 1. Okay. In the same way, if you perform for anything, for any operator like power operator or anything, it is going to work. So this is about arithmetic operators. You can take any type of operator. In yesterday's session, I have shown you only for few operators. You can take for any operators. There is no problem. Okay. So this is about operator overloading regarding your arithmetic operators. Now I will go back to my same concept what we have seen yesterday, because some more points I have to explain. Here I have taken how many objects? I have taken only 2 objects, so that we are going to add 2. So once I will explain clearly about this program. So here what happens? Observe once. Here what we can observe? Initially, whenever I am going to create this object, here one object will be created and this constructor is going to be called. So it is B1 and in that pages will be created. 1 minute. Okay. Anyway, pages is going to be created. 1 minute, please. Okay, now observe. Here an object is going to be created and the name of this one is what? B1, and here pages is going to be created equal to, we are going to get what? 500 here. Okay. Next, after that, B2 is going to be created. B2 is going to be created. Here pages are going to be created. Okay. Here what is the number of count? 600. Here 600 is going to be created. Okay. This is the way after executing constructor, we are having two objects. In each and every object we are having what? Pages count we are going to have here. Here also we are having pages. Okay. After that, here I am going to perform what? B1 plus B2. B1 is which object? Book object. B2 is which object? Book object. So actually we cannot perform addition operator between book objects because your interpreter don't know how to perform that addition between B1 and B2. So that I have to overload the operator by writing a magic method here. So I have done it. So that first it will, when I am going to type B1 plus, it will go to B1 object. B1 is which object? Book object. So that it will go to book object, book class, and here it will search for a magic method called as add. Why it is search for only magic method add? Because here I am using a symbol called as plus. So for plus operator, it will search for only magic method add. So already it is present. So that it will go, whatever the statements we are going to write here, it will execute. There is no problem. But just here, for a meaningful information, I have written this statement. Otherwise, if you write some print statements also, it will work. There is no problem. So self dot pages, that means what? Here this B1 will be passed to where? Self. B2 will be passed to where? Other. And this will pass it to self and this will pass it to other. Now self is nothing but what? B1. B1 dot pages. B1 dot pages is what? 500. So here 500 will be there. Next, after that, we are going to have what? Plus other dot pages. What is meant by other? Other is nothing but B2. B2 dot pages is nothing but 600. So here, what is the value that is going to generate? Equal to 1100, it is going to return. So from where we have called this one? From here. So this 1100 will be printed here. So this is the program we have seen till now. But now the concept is, once we have to understand the point, that is what? Pages is which type? Pages is 500 and 600. Those are integer types. So it's going to return which value here? It is going to return integer type. Okay, it's going to return which type? Integer type only. So there is no problem. Now the concept is, if I want to perform addition between three books, that means what? I want to create a three binding books. That means I want to bind three books. B3 equal to one more book I want to create, which is having a pages of 300, for example. I want to bind that. Now listen carefully. Here, if I write B3, what happens? This point has to be understood compulsory because it leads to some confusion here. So B first it is going to, it will see plus operator here. So anyway, by creating this one, we are going to get what? Three objects we are going to get: B1, B2 and B3. So here for B1, what are the pages we are having? 500. Okay, next, this for this one 600 we are going to have. For this one we are going to have only 300. For example, 300 I am going to take. Now I am going to perform what? B1 plus B2. That means first this plus operator is going to be executed here. That means this is B1 is which object? B1 belongs to book object. So that it will go to book object first and it will check for which one? Add. So it is available. So there is no problem. So B1 will pass it to self and B2 will pass it to other. There is no problem here. But what happens here? It is going to return what? 1100. It is going to return here. Okay. It is going to return what? 1100 here. It is going to return 1100. Observe carefully here. In the place of this one, it is going to return what? 1100. Plus B3 has to be done. Plus B3 has to be done. Now observe one thing. Here it is which type? Here it is int type. Okay. Here it is which type? Book type. 1 minute. Just I will go to one is what? Okay, right. Now see here, one is what? Int type. One is int type. Another one is book type. Can I add these types? It is not possible. One is int type, another one is book type. It is not possible. It can add what? Book object plus book object it can add. But here we are getting what? Int plus book object. Is it possible? What here I am performing? Here I can pass self means what? Book object. Other means what? Book object. Here what I am performing? Self plus pages plus other plus pages. Whatever the values, whatever the objects, I am passing to this. It may be any object. There is no problem. But I am passing what? Book objects I am passing here. So b1 dot pages 500, b2 dot pages some 600. Both are integers. So result will be integer. It is going to return what? In the place of b1 and b2, it is going to return what? Integer only. So this b1 plus b2 is nothing but what? 1100. 1100 plus b3. b3 is which type? b3 is book type. And here whatever the value I am taking is what? 1100 is what? Int type. Can I add 1100 and b3? It is not possible here. Because if I pass 1100 here, what happens? It is an int type. In self dot pages, in int, is there any pages? It is not possible. Just I will execute this program. You can observe that. So see what happened? Unsupported operand plus. That is nothing but what? Int and book. You know that why here int and book is generated? Because here after executing this b1 plus b2, it is going to return me what? Int type. And now b3 is what? Book type. I cannot perform int and book type. Okay, now what I have to do for this one? Okay, that is a concept we have to observe here. So here what I have to do means, just I have to do a small modification in our addition operation. That is what not addition operation, addition magic method. That is, before going to return a value, just I will take some total. I will take total equal to, just I will take this one, total equal to self dot pages plus other pages I will take. That means what happens? Here 1100 will be stored. After 1100 is going to be stored, if I convert that one into a book object, then there is no problem for us. So I will convert that 1100 to book object. So here I will write book of typecasting total. That means what? Total is having 1100, and now that 1100 is converted into what? Book type and stored in B. Now B is which type? Book type. So I am returning that B now. I am returning that B. If I am returning that B, in the place of B1 and B2, which object will be there? B object will be there. After that, that B object is which type? Book type. So in the place of this self, it is going to act as what? Book only. There is no problem. After that, here B3 is going to have what? B3 is also book type. So book type plus book type can be performed here. So if I execute this one, we are going to 1 minute. So here what I am returning? I am going to return B. That means it is going to give me what? Some object it is going to give me. Because one thing we have to observe here, before it is giving me integer, now it is giving some object. Reason, this is B object. So first time it has given here B object for B1 plus B2. After that, here it is going to here B comma B, sorry, self is nothing but B and other is nothing but B3. So here it may lead to some confusion here. Just I will explain the concept. What I have taken here, just I will write the same concept here. Once listen carefully. So here, just I have taken what? Underscore define underscore add underscore I have taken self comma I have taken what? Some other I have taken. In this, I have written what? Total equal to self dot pages plus other dot pages I have taken. Okay. After that, I have taken some object B equal to, I have converted that one to book type. The total I have converted to book type. And I am returning that B. Just I will explain this concept. I am passing what? B1 plus B2 plus B3. Just I am printing this one. Okay. If I am printing that one, we are going to get some object. Why it is going to give you an object? Let us see now. So when I am calling B1 plus B2, what happens? B1 will be self and B2 will be other. So B1 dot pages, something is there here. Let us see that one. 500. So here for B 500 is there. For this 600 is there. For this I think some 300 is there. Okay, these are the pages. So first what happened? Self dot pages is nothing but b1 dot pages is 500. So 500 plus 600, it is nothing but total is 600. Now book of total, so it will convert the 600 into book type and it will store in B. Now B is which type? Book type. So that book type will be passed here. That book type will be passed. And again what it is going to do? B plus B3 will be done. So here B will be passed and here B3 will be passed. Again same operation is going to be done here. And the result will be what? 1100 plus 300. That is going to be what? 1400 here. Now B equal to book of 1400. It's going to convert that object into what? Book object. B is which object now? Book object it is. So that it is going to return what here? For entire this one, we are going to get a book object. So that when I am going to print this one, internally for here, book object is printed at some location. This is address. So why it is printed? Reason is, if it is an integer, it is going to print directly. If I press b1 plus b2, it is going to give me result as what? So already we have seen that one. It is going to give the result as 1100. There is no problem for that. So see here, you can observe that output here. So 1100 it has given me. There is no problem for that. But if I take 3 books, I am going to get what? Book object. So now there is no meaning for that book object. I cannot understand. The students who don't know, or the people who don't know about this object concept, they cannot understand what is this output. Actually the output is what? It is a book object at some address location it is going to give me. But actually if it is a meaningful information, I can understand that. So to make the book object as a, why it is printed here? So internally, whenever, one point I have to explain, internally whenever I am going to print, if I am going to print any object, maybe any object, internally one method will be called, that is underscore underscore str underscore underscore method will be called. If you know Java, it is like a two-string method. So whenever we are going to print a two-string, an object in your Java, there internal two-string will be called. So here also, which method is going to be called? Underscore underscore str underscore and underscore will be called. So in that, what it is going to be there? What is the statement it is going to print? Means the name of object will be printed, and it will print what? At some address it will be printed. So by default, it is having what? Name of object will be there. So what is the name of object? Which type of object it is? It is a book object. So it is printing book object. After that, what it is going to print? At type of object, not name of object. It will print what? Type of object at some location, or we can say it as an address. It is going to be print by default. But I don't want this type of answers. So I want some meaningful answers. So I don't like this type of replies from our Python virtual machine. So if you don't like the message that is given by your Python virtual machine, better override this one. Yesterday I have told you, I don't want this one. So you write the definition for this one in your program. Now I will write my own definition here. So now see, for def underscore underscore str underscore underscore, I am going to write here on my own. From now what happens? So whenever str is going to be called, it will not go to the default thing. It will come to here because I don't like that str. So that I have written my own definition. So before going to print an object, generally it has to call what? This method, which is by default it is available. But now what happens? It will go to this str. Okay. Now what I want to print, I can write my wish. My own statement I will write here. Return, what I will write? Just I want to write some meaningful pages. Sorry, meaningful message I want to write here. That is what I want to print. Finally, number of objects I want to print. Sorry, number of pages. Number of pages after binding. After binding. Binding. How many books we have binded? 3 books. After binding, 3 books are. So where it is in self dot, because here which object is going to be written? B object is going to be written. So if I pass that B here, in that which value is there? 1300 is there. Sorry, 1400 is there. That 1400 has to be printed here. So just I will write here what? It is going to be just, I want to write that value. So just I will write that as plus dot self dot pages. So just I will show you the output once, and later I'll explain what happens here. Oh, sorry, here. Let us see here once. Non-string term. Here it has to return string only. 1 minute. Let us check here. Self dot pages. So it's going to give you what? Okay, it's going to return B here. So next, self dot here underscore str. There is no problem. So let's execute once. Cannot concatenate str. Okay, here let us change it to str. Okay. Now see, we got the answer. Okay. This is the output we want to get. So that I have converted this value into what? String type. So my wish here, whatever the statement you are going to write, that will be printed as output. Okay. Just I will explain this program now, how it is going to be executed. The concept is here. First, I will write here. First of all, B1 object is created. Then in that pages are what? In that pages will be 500. In B1, pages are 500. 1 minute. Okay, just I will write in the other document. Here I will write. Okay, now see. Here, first I have created what? One object. That is what? B1. In these pages is how many? 500. Next, what happened? B2 is created. In B2, what happens? I am having 600. Pages are 600. Next, in B3, how many are there pages? Pages equal to 300 I have written. So these three statements are completed now. Now what I am doing here, B1 plus B2 plus B3 I am going to do here. So first B1 plus B2 will be executed. When this is going to be executed, B1 is which object? Book object. So it will go to book object and it will search for what? Plus symbol is there. So whether there is any add magic method is there, it will check. So it is there. So that what happens? B1 will be sent as first parameter. After plus whatever the value it is having, it will be sent as second parameter. So B1 is nothing but what? Self now. B2 is nothing but what? Other. So B1 dot pages. How much? B1 dot pages 500. Next other dot pages. That is nothing but B2 dot pages. How much? 600. So this total will be what? 1100. Now I'm converting it to book type. That means what? B contains 1100 in the form of book object. So return B. Return B means what? B is which object? Book object. Because here plus can be performed. B1 is which object? Book object. B2 is which object? Book object. So book object plus book object can be done. So if we are getting book object in the place of B1 and B2, I can perform with that book object with B3. There is no problem. So in the place of B1 and B2, I am going to get B, which is nothing but a book object. So now what happens? B plus B3 is going to be performed. So again here self will be what? B. B3 will be what? Book object, other. So B plus page, B dot pages is going to be what? B dot pages is nothing but what? We got that value 1100 plus here we are going to get what? 300. So that finally we are going to get 1400 in this one. Again I have converted it to what? B, a book type, and I have written back here. That means here which object is going to be returned? We are getting an object, B type of object. So if B type of object is going to be returned, if I print that B object, we are going to get output as what? Some object name at some address it is going to give you. I don't want that meaningless sentence. I don't want. So that I have overridden what? Underscore underscore str underscore underscore. So internally, whenever some object is going to be printed, it is going to call which method internally? Underscore underscore str underscore underscore method will be called. So I have overridden it. So first it will come here. So it is available here. So that it will execute this statement. Number of pages after 3 books, binding 3 books are. So it will print this statement, and here it is which type? Int type. So I will convert that into to string, so that I am going to concatenate this one. because string should always return a string type only. str should always return string type only. So I have converted this one to string. So self dot pages is nothing but what? 400. In this self, what we are having? B. So B dot pages is nothing but what? 400. Sorry, 1400. It is converted into string. So this string and this string will be concatenated and output is going to be printed. So in this way we can take, if you are going to take any number of objects, there is no problem now. So every time same thing is going to be repeated. If I create one more book object here, and if I am taking some 400 also, there is no problem. The process will be continued for any number of books. So now observe here, but here just I will take after binding books, I will take here. So you can observe here, we are going to get output as 1800. So this will be continued for any number of books here. So first point, what we have to understand, this logic is dependent on the programmer. It is not compulsory to write. It is not a fixed logic. You can write any type of code inside that add method. Okay, as per my requirement, I have written first for 2 books. After if I want to bind more than 2 books, the logic has been changed. Okay, so here in this example, what we have understand mainly about underscore underscore str underscore underscore, you have to understand. Okay, anyway, about this method I will discuss more after completing the concept of inheritances. Okay, after complete inheritance concept, I will explain about this underscore underscore str underscore underscore method. Okay, so if you know about the toString method in your Java, it is same. Okay, right. So this is about a small example about operator overloading. Now just I will take one more example regarding your operator overloading. That is, I will go for relational operator. Just I don't want this one. Just I will take relational operators. I will take here and I will overload. So I want to take employee salaries. I want to compare this salaries. Employee, and here I want to take first salary. I want to take salary, and here I will take salary. Okay, and here also I want to take what? Salary. Now observe here, I have taken salary. Now I want to write what? Comparison operators. Okay, or we can say it as a relational operators. So just I will take greater than or less than here. So first I will take less than. For less than, what we are having? We are having a magic method called as LE. Sorry, less than LT. LT we are having. In this we will write what? Self comma other. Self comma other we are going to have. After this, what I have to write? I have to check whether the salary of self is less than whatever the statement you want to write inside this one. You can write anything. There is no problem. Self dot salary is less than other dot salary. Just here it is going to return what? It is going to return true or false. Okay, if I want to check other one, that is like greater than or equal to some self comma other. You can write anything. Just I am going to write here less than or greater than. Now observe carefully here. Just here I am going to return what? Return self dot salary greater than or equal to other dot salary. Okay, now observe here, these two I am going to take. You can take any number of operators. Just I want to show you a demonstration about any one of the relational operators. Just I have taken these two. So I am going to create 2 employees. So first employee name is E. I am going to take E1, employee 1. He is going to have what? Just I am going to write salary of the employee. Otherwise, if you want to write the name of the employee, here I will write Shiva. I will write the employee name is Shiva. His salary is some, for example, 50,000 I will take. Next I will take Ram salary. Ram salary is some 80,000. Okay, 2 employees I have taken here. Now I want to check whether Shiva salary is greater than or equal to Ram salary or not. Further, just I am going to write what? Print of S1, sorry, Shiva is less than. That means what? Shiva salary is less than Ram. Less than is there here. So let us see what will be the output of this one. So here, sorry, just I have written somewhere mistake, salary. So here, okay. So now what happens here? True we are going to get. That means what? Shiva salary is less than Ram salary. Yes, Shiva salary is 50,000. Ram's salary is 80,000. Okay. Now I will check whether Shiva's salary is greater than or equal to Ram's salary. Okay, a false, because Shiva's salary is not greater than or not equal to Ram's salary. Okay, I will take one more example, that is student marks. I will compare. Class student I will take. Here I am going to write define constructor. I am going to take init underscore underscore. I am going to take self comma name comma marks. I am going to take. Okay. Otherwise, just I will take two different classes. Already this type of example I have discussed in less than or greater than. Just I will take here name of the employee. Just I will take employee here. Employee I am going to take. Just I want to calculate the salary. So based on this days. So here I will take his salary. Okay. After this, just I want to take what self dot name equal to name. I will take self dot salary equal to salary. Okay. Right. This is the constructor. Now just I want to perform based on the salary. I want to perform what? Based on the number of days he is going to work and salary. If I perform multiplication, otherwise here I will say daily salary to make you understand. Daily salary, that means day wise salary. Okay, daily salary I am going to take. Here I will take daily salary. So daily salary I am going to pass, so that if he is going to work for 30 days, 30 into the daily salary will be calculated. So define underscore underscore multiplication I am going to take here. Which one has to be multiplied here? Self dot self comma other I am going to take. Now observe carefully. First employee. First I have the employee object has to be taken. In that daily salary has to be taken, and return daily salary means what? First wherever salary is present, daily salary is present inside employee. So I will pass first object as employee. So self dot daily salary into I will take here into what I have to take other object, number of days I have to take. That object I will take in other place. Just I will show you that other dot days I will take. Okay, just to see this one, I will write one more class and I will explain here. Class days I am going to take. Okay, class days. Here what I will take, number of days. For number of days I am going to take one constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Here I am going to take some self. Okay, and also I want to take name and days also. Okay, number of days a particular employee is going to be worked. Okay, self dot name equal to name and self dot days equal to days. Now here in days, what happens? I have taken days. This is the concept. I am going to take one class. Sorry, two classes I have taken. One is employee class, another one is what? Days class. So here what I'm going to do, I want to calculate a salary. Otherwise here I will take this one as a salary class. Okay. So two things I have taken. Now I want to create two objects. One is salary object. So salary object, if I want to take how many constructors I have to, how many parameters I have to pass? Name. Name is Shiva. His daily salary is 2000 for example. So here just I will take S. So it is a employee, no? So let us take E1. E1 I have taken. Now I want to take number of days he worked. Okay, days. That means what I have to take days object D1 I am taking equal to days of. I am going to take same Shiva. How many days he is going to work? He has worked for 30 days, for example. Now this is a concept we have to understand carefully. Print. I want to print his salary. So salary is, how I have to print it? I have to multiply both the things. That is what 2000 into 30. It has to give me the result. So first thing I will make it as a D1 into E1. Okay, it will give you an error, but first I want to explain why it is going to give you an error. right? Here observe what happens. E1 is going to be created. So E1 is going to be created. So observe here E1. 1 minute. E1 is going to be created here, and in that what happens? Shiva is passed here, name, and in E1 we are having what? Shiva, name as Shiva, and salary as what? Daily salary as 2000. Okay, here we are having 2000. Okay, here we are having 2000. Next, after that, days object is created. In that name is what? Shiva. Days object is created. This is what? D1. This is what? D1. In this name is what? Shiva. Okay. After that, we are having what? Days as 30. Just remember this one. Now here, salary is D1 into E1. D1 is which object? Days object. It will go to days object to check for what? Into. Into is nothing but what? Multiplication. Is there any multiplication magic method is present in days? Not there. So automatically what happens? It's going to throw you an error. Just it's going to throw you an exception. Let us see which type of exception is going to rise. So now see unsupported operand type, that is multiplication operator. Days into salary cannot be done because days is not having any type of multiplication where it is inside a salary. So compulsory first one should be what? Salary type. Next one should be what? Days type. It is compulsory because based on the first object only it will go to that class and it will check for this multiplication method. So now what happens? E1 is first, so that it will go to E1 is which type? Salary type. So E1 goes to salary class and it will check for which operator? Multiplication operator. Multiplication operator is nothing but what? Magic method MUL. It will check for this one, and E1 will be passed to self, D1 will be passed to other. In self means what? E1. E1 dot daily salary. Daily salary is nothing but what? Daily salary is nothing but 2000 I have passed. So 2000 into other dot days. Other is nothing but what now? Other I have taken as D1. In D1, D1 is which object? Days object. In that number of days is what? 30. So 2000 into 30 is nothing but what? 6000. That means this entire statement is going to return 6000, and here the result will be what? 6000 is going to be printed. Now observe the output. So we got what? 60, not 6000, it is a 60,000. Sorry. So it is what? 60,000. Right. This is a small example we can take about this operator overloading. Now let us go to next concept, that is method overloading. Till now we have seen what? We have seen the concept of operator overloading. Now I want to show you about method overloading. It's a very important concept. So before going to method overloading, I will explain some concept regarding this method overloading. So that is, what is meant by method overloading means, one method I will take, one method, for example method 1 I will take. So method 1 I am going to take, and here I am going to take one parameter A, and same method I am going to take method 1, name is same. Here I am taking two parameters. Method 2 I am going, sorry, method 1 I am taking, here I am going to take three parameters. This concept is called as method overloading. Okay, method overloading. So method overloading is not possible in our Python. So why it is not possible? If you try to overload the method, what happens? Let us see in detail with an examples. Okay, first thing we have to understand what is meant by method overloading here. That is what? So method name should be same. According to object oriented programming, the concept of method overloading is nothing but what? Method name should be same. So method names are same here, but arguments, that is what, parameters should be different. If parameter count also say, for example here one parameter is there, here also one parameter is there, but here what should be there? Here one parameter is there, here one parameter is there, but the type should be different. But according to our Python, there is no concept of types. Okay, so I cannot differentiate based on the types, I cannot differentiate, but I can differentiate according to the number of parameters. So by seeing these three, I can say these three as overloaded methods. Reason is what? Method name is same, but number of parameters are different. It's enough. I can say it has a concept of method overloading. Okay. Now I will tell you why it is not possible by taking a small example here. Okay, if it is in Java, it is possible, because if it is in Java, for example, method one I am taking here, int type of parameter I am going to take here. I am going to take some two parameters, int a comma int b. Next m1 I am going to take here. I will take double x I am going to take, or double a I am going to take here. These three can be called as method overloading. As here we are having one parameter, here we are having two parameters. I can clearly say these two methods are overloaded because the name is same, parameters are different. But here when we compare m1 and first one and third one, here one parameter, here one parameter, but types are different. If it is one parameter also, there is no problem, but types should be different. So here types are different. So I can say these three methods as overloaded, but it is not possible in Python. Okay, so it is in Java. So in Java, method overloading is possible. So just I will take one small example for this one, so that it is not possible, but it will work without any errors. So how it is going to work, I will explain you. So now see here, just I will take a demo program, just a demo class I am going to take. Here I will take three methods with the same name. So just I will take method one, and here I want to take one per self I will take. So this is what print of. Here I have not taken any parameters, no parameters, or no arguments we can take. So same method name I will take with one parameter and two parameters also. Okay. Now observe here. Here I will take what? One parameter. Some a I am going to take here. Here we are having how many parameters? One parameter. So that I will write here one parameter I will write. Okay. Next, I will take one more method called as with two parameters I will take a comma b. Here just I want to write two parameters. Okay. If you want to write three parameters also, you can write, there is no problem. Just I will, for a demonstration, I have taken three methods. Now by seeing this one, anyone can say that it is a overloaded methods, because method names are same and parameters are different. But in Python, what happens? So each and every step I will explain. So just I will create one object. First I am going to call a method called as t.m1. When I am calling t.m1, is there any parameter here? No parameter. So that it will go to where? Let us see where it will go. So what is 1 minute? Name test is not defined. Sorry, here demo. I think test I have written. Okay, just I will write demo. Okay, just here also I will take d, some d. Okay, right now observe here. What we are going to get? Demo object has no attribute. Sorry, I have taken method one. So method one is see here. What we are going to get? We are going to get output as. So as we are having method one without any parameters, I am having here. There is no problem. We have to get the answer. But what happens? We are not getting any answer. We are going to get an error. Reason is what? It is not okay. It is not going to consider this method. Okay. Next, I will take with one parameter. One parameter I will take. Again, we are going to get some same mistake. Reason is what? It is showing one argument is missing. Now, if I take two parameters, it will give you correct answer. It is giving what? Two parameters. The reason is very important point to be noted. That is, if you take with the same name, if you take any number of methods in a class, then last method will be considered. Last method only will be considered. So if we take, for example, if I take this method as a last method, for example, I am going to take this method as a last method and I'm executing this program now. Okay. Now what happens? Observe here. Method one takes only one positional argument, but three are given. So that means what? Two are these and one is self. Just I will remove what? I will remove these. I will keep only one argument. Now observe here. Again, it is telling what? Two are given. Now if I remove this one also, it will execute now. Now what is the answer? No parameters. That means what is the point we have to understand here? So here, whatever the method I have written last, that means what? This last. It may be any method. If you write any method last with the same name, only that method is going to be considered. Okay, so this method is replaced by this method. This method is replaced by this method, and this method is not replaced by any method. So method 1 of class demo is nothing but last method method 1 only. Okay, if you want method overloading, then here it is not possible directly. See here, if you are applying a method overloading concept directly, we are having some problems here, but I can do it. But there is a one more possibility is there to implement this type of logic, this type of method overloading in our Python also. There is no problem. Just I will give you those two examples. I can implement this method overloading also. Method overloading is nothing but what? Here I have given one parameter. Here I have given two parameters. Here I have given what? No parameters. So it has to execute at least one method. If I have given no parameter, it is going to this method. If I am giving one parameter, it has to go to here, but is not going. Okay, that means zero parameter it has to take, one parameter it has to take, two parameters it has to take, but it is not possible according to our Python. So according to our Python, which method is going to be considered? Only the last return method will be considered if the method is going to have same name. Okay, that is the case. So now here what we can do for this one? So this is possible. I will make a alternative, but officially, or we can say what directly it is not possible. I am going to show you one what we can say indirect way to implement this one by using the concept of default arguments. One is default arguments. By using default arguments, I can implement, and also I will show about variable number of arguments. Okay, already we have discussed about these two concepts when we are seeing about the concepts of functions. Okay, by using these two concepts, I can go for the concept of I can implement the concept of method overloading. Okay, just I will show you that now how it is possible by taking this concept. So just I will take one method, just only I will take one method, but here what my concept is, what my method one has to take 0 arguments, 2 arguments, 1 argument. Okay, that is the concept. If it is 1 argument, it has to print 1 argument. If it is 2 arguments, it has to print 2 arguments. If it is 3 arguments, sorry, if it is 0 arguments, it has to print no argument. For that, I can take, so same thing I will take here. Observe carefully, but I will implement with the concept of default arguments. So maximum is what? 0, 1, 2 I have to take. First 0 means with no parameters. So this is 1 argument. Next, this is what? Second argument. So first I want to consider about 0 argument. So 0 argument is nothing but what? 0 argument is if A not equal to none, not equal to none, and B not equal to none. Okay, so not equal to none. I have to write what here? Equal to none. Then I have to print what? If those are equal to none, we have to print it as no parameter. No parameter. If those are what we can say, if I'm not passing any argument, this will be the answer. Okay, next case is what? I want to take for one parameter. Okay, for one parameter, what should be there? If A not A, I have to write B, I think. Okay, here I have to write A equal to none, B equal to none, and here A not equal to none and B equal to none I have to take here. Okay, B equal to none. Then what should be the answer? I have to print one argument. I have to print what? One argument or one parameter. Okay, right. Next one is, so just here I will write some else if. Okay, or directly I will write else here. Okay, else this case, because I'm having what? These two cases only. Third case is what? Two parameters I will take. If it is taking two parameters, directly I'm going to print what? Here I will write okay, anyway, just here I will write elif Just if these two are not the cases, then elif, I can go to which case? I have to check one more condition, I think. Just I will check that condition. A not equal to none and B not equal to none. Then it has to print what? It has to print two arguments. Print of two arguments. Okay. Yes. This is the concept I want to implement. Now observe carefully. Just I will execute this one. First it has printed what? No parameters, none parameter. Just I will take no parameter. So it will print as what? No parameter. Yes, there is no problem. If I take one parameter, what happens? It has printed one parameter. If I am going to take two parameters, it is going to take what? It is going to print as two parameters. My requirement is fulfilled here. So why to go for method overloading? If it is there or if it is not there, I can implement the concept of method overloading by using this type of techniques. By using the concept of what? Default arguments. So in this way, I can handle the concept of method overloading. I can perform indirectly the concept of method overloading. So this is the one of the way. That is what? By using default arguments. Now I can also take uh, variable arguments. We can call it as a varargs. Varargs is nothing but, so first one we have completed. Second one is what? Varargs. Varargs is nothing but it can take any number of arguments. So by using the star symbol, I am going to use varargs. If I write star n here, this n can take any number of arguments. Any number of arguments it can take. So if I give it 0, it will take. If I give it 1, it will take. If I give it 2, it will take. There is no problem. It will take any number of values. For that, I will take one small example. Okay. So class demo I am going to take. Here what I want to take, just I want to perform sum of the numbers. Okay. Define sum of the numbers. So if I give a 0 value, it has to perform sum. That means if I'm not passing any arguments, it has to give 0. If I'm going to give 1, it has to perform sum. If I am going to give 2 values, it has to perform sum. If I'm giving any number of values, this particular method has to perform the sum. So self comma, which one can take any number of parameters? Where are the parameter? Where are the arguments? So that here I am taking star n. That star n can receive any number of arguments. So first total I am going to take equal to 0. Okay, otherwise I can take sum equal to 0. There is no problem. Anything it is okay. So for every value in n, I want to store in some x. Okay. For every value in n, I want to store in x. What I want to perform here? Total equal to, what I would write? Total plus x, or we can say sum plus x. It is very easy to, if you write sum plus x. So sum I am going to write here. Sum, initially sum will be 0. So if you are going to pass argument, that will be added. So sum plus, what I have to write? X. Sum plus x. So finally the answer will be where? Inside the sum, the answer will be. So print, here I am going to write sum. Here I am going to write what? Sum. Sum is what? Where it is going to be stored? Inside a sum. So just I will print what? Sum. So this is the small method. Here just I am going to create an object of demo. D equal to demo I am going to write. After this, just I will call d dot sum. First one is what? D dot sum. Here what happens? How many arguments it is going to pass? 0 arguments. So n contain how many arguments? 0. So sum equal to 0. N does not contain anything. Then print sum is what? Sum. Sum is nothing but 0 only. So observe now. We are going to get output as 0 because I have not passed any arguments. Now if I pass 10, what is the sum of these numbers? What I am passing? 10 only. So one argument 10 is going to be passed. Sum is initially 0 and n contains only 10. X in 10. That means what? 10 value will be passed to x, and sum plus x is nothing but what? 0 plus 10. It is nothing but what? 10. So sum stores what? 10. So sum is what? 10. So it's going to give you what? Sum is 10. Now I'm passing two arguments. Okay, for loop executes how many times? 2 times now. So n contains what? 2 arguments. So n contains 2 arguments. So first sum is 0. So n is having what? 2 arguments. First it will take 10. So x value is what? 10. So sum is what? Initially 0. 0 plus 10, 10. 10 will be stored in sum. And the loop is continued here because printf statement is outside of for loop. The loop will be continued. Now x value is what? Second value 20. X value is 20. Already in sum we are having 10. 10 plus 20. It will give you what? 30. Is there any next value? Not there. So I will come out of the for loop. So it's going to print what? Sum is 30. In the same, if I take 3 arguments, it is going to give you correct output. There is no problem. If you take 4 arguments, observe here, it's going to give you some value. That means here if I pass any number of arguments, it is going to give you the result. Generally, why we are going for the concept of method overloading? The concept is, for example, if I want to perform sum of 2 numbers, just I will take 2 arguments. If I want to perform sum of 3 numbers, I will go to this method. If I want to perform sum of 4 numbers, I will go to third method. So this concept is nothing but what? Method overloading. So as our Python is not supporting this method overloading, I can implement this method overloading indirectly by using the concept of default arguments and variable number of arguments, which is nothing but varargs. Okay, right. In this way, we can implement indirectly the concept of method overloading. So what is why we are not going? It is not possible to implement this concept. Reason is, if you are going to write method overloading, there is no problem, but last method is going to be considered. Remember this point. Whenever we are going to write same method name multiple times in the same class, then last method of that particular class is going to be considered. Remaining methods are not going to be considered. Now this is about what? This is about method overloading. So indirectly we can implement by using the concept of default arguments, or we can say what? Variable arguments we can perform indirectly. Now I want to show you the same concept for constructor overloading also. So constructor overloading is also not possible. Constructor overloading is also not possible. Constructor overloading. So whatever the case we have seen with our method overloading, it will be same for constructor overloading also. For last constructor, whatever we are writing in that particular class, that will be considered as constructor. Remaining 2 or 3, whatever we are writing, those are not going to be considered as constructors. Those constructors are not going to be considered. So constructor overloading is not possible in Python. First point is what? Not possible in Python. So if we define multiple constructor, then what happens? Last constructor only will be considered. Remaining constructors will not be considered. Same here also, we can overcome this particular or we can implement this constructor overloading with the help of default arguments, or we can say variable number of arguments. Just for a small example, I will take 2 scenarios like this. First I will take about a concept of default arguments I will take. So first I want to show you whether it is working or not. So demo I am going to take class name as, and I will take 3 constructors in it. I am going to take here initial, I am going to take only self. I am not going to take any parameters here. And here just I want to print what? No arguments. I will print here. No args. Okay. And next I want to take one parameter first. So just I will copy this one and I will take one argument here, comma a I will write, and just here I will write what? One arg. Okay. Next, just I will take one more method where I will take 2 parameters. So here I will take what? 2 parameters. So just I will print what here? 2 args. So observe carefully. So whenever I am going to create a demo object, that is some d equal to demo, if I am going to write, how many arguments has to be passed? You may think that, sir, here already one constructor is there without any parameters, so that whenever I am creating d object, it will go here. No. What happens here? This constructor is replaced by this constructor, and this constructor is replaced by this constructor. Finally, the available constructor is this one only. This one means what? I have to pass how many parameters? 2 parameters has to be passed, or 2 arguments has to be passed. But here, am I passing any parameters, arguments? No. Observe here, what we are going to get? Missing 2 arguments. So if I take one argument, what happens? Again, it is telling one argument is missing. Next, if I take two arguments, what happens? It will execute correctly. Okay, it will print what? Two args. So one point here we have to understand what? Constructor overloading is not possible in Python, but we can implement by using the concept of, indirectly we can implement by using the concept of uh, default arguments and also where args. So what happens if I write this type? We will not get any error. So if I write here 10, 20, will there be any error? There is no error because third one, last one here in your class, whatever the constructor you have written last will be considered as the constructor of that particular class. So constructor of this class is what? With two parameters. So compulsory we have to pass what? Two parameters has to be passed for that constructor. Okay, right. So to overcome this one, just I will take what? Just I will take only one constructor I will take with where are parameters. So same thing I will take whatever we have seen there. So here I will write none I will take. Here I will write none I will take. So this constructor only will be executed for any type, any arguments. The only constructor it will execute for any arguments. So if you want to write any logic inside, you can write. There is no problem. So see now I have passed two arguments. It will be executed. If I passed not any arguments, I can take one or two or three. So now what happens? Any arguments is printed if I pass one argument. If I am not passing any arguments, it is going to print any arguments. So if I pass three arguments, is it possible? It is not possible here. Okay. Now observe. Is it possible? It is not possible because I have taken how many arguments? Only two. Up to two you can take. There is no problem. If you want to take five, first write C equal to none, D equal to none. Write down five things, five arguments, and you can pass up to five. There is no problem. So see, for three also it is possible. That means we can take or we can implement the concept of constructor overloading by using these default arguments. Okay. So next way, indirectly, how we can implement the concept of constructor overloading. Just I will take only one argument that is called as where arg. Just I will give here star a. I will not change anything in this program, but I will change the arguments every time here. Just I will take first zero arguments, it will execute. One argument, it will execute. There is no problem. Next I will take two arguments, it will execute. If you take 10 arguments, it will execute. There is no problem because it is called as what? Where arg. So for any number of arguments, it is going to be executed. You may think that, sir, here you have written only one method, one constructor, and how you are saying it as a method overloading? Okay, means what is the need of a method overloading? For example, I want to perform a sum of two numbers. Okay, I want to perform sum of three numbers. Yes, sum of four numbers. Anyway, here you are writing what is the main cause of this one? Two. Okay, sum. Here sum of three. Here sum of four. So anyway, we are performing sum only. So here what happens? Here I'm talking about constructor. In before example, what I have taken? I have taken sum with what? Default argument. Sorry, not default argument. This is what? Where argument. And here I'm going to perform sum of any numbers. Without writing this one, the same operation can be done by this where are parameter also. Where arguments also. So that I am going for, that means what? As this is not possible in our Python, I am using the concept of what? Where args, or I can go for default arguments. So I am saying what? A small alternative is there, but I am not saying this one as a method overloading, but alternative is there to implement this type of logic in our programming. Okay. So finally, after seeing all these examples, two statements I want to give you a clarity. The 2 points I want to discuss. One is what? Method overloading and constructor overloading is not possible in Python. Is not possible in Python. So if you want to implement this type of logic or this type of concept, better indirectly we can go for. Indirectly we can implement by using the concept of what is that? Default arguments, or we can use varargs or variable argument methods. Variable argument methods or variable arguments we can say, because the same concept will be applied for what? Constructors. The same concept will be applied for methods also. So default arguments, and by using variable arguments, we can implement this type of concepts indirectly. Okay, so this is about overloading, and operator overloading is possible. Operator overloading, operator overloading is possible in Python, as we have seen many examples for this operator overloading. Okay, in next session we are going to discuss about overriding. So before going to see the concept of overriding, we have to see the concept of inheritance. So first I will discuss about inheritance concept. After completing inheritance concept, I will discuss about overriding. Okay, thank you.